Okay, so we have our special investigator here, Carmen, who is a professional. She does everything, a lot of things. I couldn't even tell you how many different degrees and how much law she's practiced in real estate and all that type of stuff. But she's going to kind of go over some of the things that we can check our own county records on the loans that we have. Go ahead, Carmen. I'll let you go ahead and take the floor.
Oh, one of the things that's real important when people get a home financed by a lender is that if they ever notice how the lender never keeps the loan no more than 5 years before they assign it to another lender. And actually, I just discovered that in the U.S. Code. Okay, that is part of the U.S. Code that the lenders are not supposed to hold on to the loan no more than 5 years, and then they assign it to another lender. I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to give you the U.S. Code for that.
Yeah.
So you can read it. Yeah, so you can read it to your
that'll be good.
To your people here on your channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting to know that. But one of the things that people need to know and understand is that if they look back at what happened during the financial crisis, and this is where the scam came out. What happened is that during the financial crisis, there were a lot of banks that were claiming that they owned a lot of these mortgages, which they really didn't. They were never really assigned to them. And so here they were collecting money off of loans that were never assigned to them.
Wow.
from the original lender.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that kind of like one of those?
So that's
bill
why.
collectors? Is that like a bill collector that just kind of comes in and
No.
Scoops
Oh,
it up?
yes. And that's why when just like you said with a bill collector, even when it comes to a bill collector and the original finance person or the bank or whoever it is that you got the money from, okay, when they pass on your debt to a collection agency, one of the first things you should do is send a specific letter to them. And hold on. And the letter, you have to put in the letter asking the bill collector to actually verify. It's a verification of debt letter. Okay. That's what you need to send. And in that verification of debt letter, you need to ask the creditor, do they own that loan? Okay. And a lot of times, they'll tell you, oh, well, it was assigned to us and stuff. But you have to find out, is the collection agency actually working as a contractor for the lender, which means that the lender actually just hired them to collect the debt, or did they actually purchase your debt for pennies on the dollar? Okay. And now they're trying to say that they own your debt now. And so you have to find out from them which one are they.
I could actually do that with Wells Fargo, being that Wachovia used to be, the loan provider. And then Wells Fargo came in and did that. I could probably write a letter to Wells Fargo and ask them for the debt verification letter, right? For my short sale.
Yes, you can. Yeah, see, and I found something on yours too. And that is, there was more lenders on yours than just Wachovia and Wells Fargo.
Whoa.
That's what I want to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there's a lot of things that we all need to learn about how all these laws and stuff work, because we're always left out in the dark. We
Mhm,
are.
mhm.
And we have to learn how to get a handle on this and get ahead of them and not let them get away with what they're doing. Yeah, we
Let me ask
sure
you a
do.
question.
And see, another thing,
How would any
yeah.
of the subscribers or followers here that's listening to this, if they have a deed or some paperwork loan, how would they be able to find out that they have other lenders on their loan?
Okay. What they would have to do is that there is one place where all these documents are located, and that is you have to go to the recorder of deeds in your county, because that's where all the deeds are recorded,
Okay,
in the county of where your residence is.
okay.
Now, once you get to the site, there's some sites that will, and there's some counties that will allow you to go ahead and search, but they won't let you read the documents unless you register. There's some that will let you register, but they won't let you print out the documents because they want you to pay.
Hmm.
And so if you're a good writer or you got your camera on your cell phone, take screenshots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it, and I get it because they're trying to protect, what I mean, that information. Yeah,
Mm.
because there are scammers out there who
There are people that maybe,
try to take over people's deeds,
yeah, like by paying
and
back
that's what happened during
taxes.
the financial crisis. Huh?
Is that how when they do those adverse what they do, they pay the back taxes that someone's behind? Adverse
Oh,
tax.
those are tax investors. Yeah, they no, not them. They're okay. It takes us back to the financial crisis when the houses were going underwater. A lot of houses were going into foreclosure. There
Mhm.
were scammers that was going to the county and the recorded deeds office, the county clerk's office, where the recorded deeds are located, and they were looking up deeds, and then they would go and get a document and then just fill out the deed and put their name on it as if they're the ones who actually are the owners of the property.
Wow.
And then they would record it right there at the county. Now,
Ballsy.
how they got caught or how the actual owner gets in trouble is every so often the lender will pull a copy of the recorded deed. They'll go and look to see whose name is on the recorded deed. And if it's not the original owner's name on that recorded deed, because that house wasn't sold or anything, if you ever read your mortgage documents, it will tell you that if anything happens and your name is not on there, the lender has the right to rescind that loan and make the full balance due.
Wow.
So
That how some
that's why
people
it's
lost their
good
houses?
to sometimes, yes, right, exactly. So that's why it's good, sometimes, every so often to go check at
Oh,
the recorder's office.
okay. Okay. Is there any particular area to look at, like grantor of deeds or grantee, or when you go into the recorder of deeds?
Yeah, it does ask you that. That's how you pull it up. Because once you get in there, it asks you the name of the grantor or the grantee. You don't have to have both. You just only have to have one or the other. And it's best to have the name of the grantor because you are the grantor when the loan is in your name. Now, if you're buying the house from someone, then you would be the grantee.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the other way around. I'm sorry. When you're selling the house, you're the grantee. And when you're buying it or when you own it, you're the grantor.
Really? I thought grantor was the one who was giving it, like selling it, and the grantee was the one receiving it.
So, okay. So when you, okay, if like you with your house, okay?
Yeah.
Because you own the house, your name would be the grantor. Okay, it would
What
be
about
the
the
grantor
bank?
because you own it.
Do the banks sometimes become the grantor? They switch.
Yes. Right, they can switch. They would become the grantor when they're selling your house. When they're buying it or is going through a foreclosure, they are the grantee.
When they're buying it.
And you're the grantor.
Oh, okay. That would be a foreclosure, but not a short sale per se. Because a short sale, I was selling it to someone else.
So correct. So you would be the grantor and then the buyers would be the grantee.
Okay, selling, yeah. Selling is the grantor, right? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because when I bought a timeshare, I have a deed. I don't know if it's called grant deed or what, but it says that the timeshare was the grantor and I was the grantee receiving it, buying it. The grantee.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. But when you go into the county records, under the recorded deeds, you will see how many times that you've either refinanced it, because it'll show you every time you've refinanced your mortgage, or if you did a loan modification, or every time that the lender has actually sold or assigned your mortgage to another lender. All of that is in there.
Wow.
It'll be a different document every time.
So do we need to contact all those different ones to ask them if they legally, what was the thing to ask? A verification of debt letter?
This is
Or no?
This is the catch.
Oh, okay.
If they're on that record, if that deed is recorded in their name and is being assigned to them, you don't have to worry about it. It's legit. As long as it's in that record, long as it's recorded at the county clerk's office as a record, then it's legit. Then it's been actually assigned legally.
Okay.
It's only if their name is not there, then you know that it's not legal.
If their name is not recorded with the county recorder.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Recorded.
Because each transfer has to be recorded.
Whoa. And so are you saying with that scam, the banks,
So that's why
they weren't doing that?
that is true. I sent you that video? Did you watch it? where that attorney busted them, and it showed that a lot of the lenders they were not assigned the loans. And so they were collecting money falsely. And the reason why they couldn't collect the loans is because a lot of those documents were destroyed.
Oh, yeah. I gotta look at that video. I did see that you sent that to me, but I guess
Yeah.
I gotta look at that. Wow.
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Maybe I didn't send it to you. Maybe because I didn't have your email address. But yeah, yes. Wait a minute. Did I send it to you in the text?
You might have sent it to me in the text. I think it's in my phone. Yeah, I'm gonna click on that.
Yeah.
Go there after that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to watch it because there was one smart attorney who busted them, and he showed that the loans were never assigned. And actually one of the banks was Wachovia. It was those banks that they got foreclosed on during the financial crisis.
Well, if it's a YouTube
Mhm.
video, I could probably cut and paste it and put it on this particular video. You know, like put it down there. So
Yeah, it is.
people
It
can
is a YouTube.
Oh, good. I will do that. I will
Right.
put it on here when I put this on my
Yeah.
channel. That'll be good. Cool.
Right. And he even tells the name of the agency who keeps all the records. And yeah, and they're the ones who told him that the records were destroyed.
Mm. You know what I called, just as a side note, I called the hospital that I was born in Los Angeles County, and apparently it's now UCLA. The Trojans took over. It's no longer Santa Monica Hospital. It's UCLA. And they told me that they destroyed the birth records.
Okay.
And I found out that the word destroy just basically means that they transferred it to like microfiche or something else. They destroy the paper ones and then they put it in a microfiche. So it's still there. The records are still there. They just don't have the original paper ones because of the Paper Act thing, saving paper thing.
Right. Right.
Just as a sidebar for anybody. When they say destroy, they just
now see that's just like with now see that's just like similar to when you're doing credit repair and when you want to dispute a credit item on your report. Okay. So if you go back to the so this is what happens when the original lender, okay, sells their loan to a collection agency, okay, all they do is actually give the collection agency like a spreadsheet with the dollar amount and your name and address and stuff on it. But the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC says that, and I have a copy of the original document that they sent out. Now, not everybody got that letter, but I got a copy of it. It's in my book and stuff. And what they said is that in order for the collection agency to say that they have the right to collect from you, is that they have to provide copies of original documents. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like your original application. Okay. And sometimes they be trying to send you statements. Statements is not what you need. They have to send you the application. And they're not going to get the application, right? And the reason why they're not going to get the application, it goes back to like what you said, because the original creditor, he sent those original documents off to be converted over to microfilm, or either they're in storage, and they're not going to pay for somebody to go to storage to pull out, okay, original documents. It costs too much money. They're not going to do it. So that's why you can always.
Or do those documents, those original documents, do they get bundled and sold to the New York Stock Exchange and used as securities?
If you read the US code, okay, anytime, like when you're talking about the 1099s, anytime that a company goes and use our trust accounts to get money from the Federal Reserve, that's a credit. So now you have to create a debit. The only way to create a debit is to create a bond.
Oh, yeah.
So to use that process with the cars is a lot easier than it is with the houses.
Because those car dealerships are creating a bond?
Yes, they are. I found mine. I found the bond on my car. Yes.
Any particular
And you can
area?
find the bond. Yeah, the Treasury Direct website.
Oh.
Right.
Did you have to
You
fill
just go in there. No, you don't have to register. No, you can just do an easy search without registering. Mm-mm.
Mm.
And when you go in there, you just have to put in the month and the year that you bought your vehicle. You choose the E-bond. No, you have to choose the EE bond. You have to choose the EE bond, and then you put in your car's VIN number. Now, it's not going to take the complete VIN number, but it's going to take majority of all the numbers, except maybe like about 2 numbers. Okay, and that's how you know that is your vehicle. Because who else is going to have that same VIN number? And then you put in there the it'll be today's date, and it'll calculate it for you. So if it shows up on there, then you know there is a bond on your vehicle.
Yeah, because I just got a check from Wells Fargo for $5, and I called them up and I asked them, what is this? They said, oh, this has got to do with your 2008 car that you bought way back then. I go, are they trading the loan or something right now? And they noticed that I'm not getting some interest. They
No,
go,
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
yeah, what happened? Something about the loan, right? It's got 30 years. What happened?
So what no, what happened is this, and I'm trying to find that law right now, but see, when Congress write up laws like that, they don't want us to find it. So you really have to dig deep. So my brother happened to see it in a documentary. And what happened is that in December of 2021, Congress wrote a law to the stock market. Who's over the stock market? What is that? What is it called? The
New York Stock
what is
Exchange?
that called?
The New York Stock.
Yeah, there it is. The New York Stock Exchange. Yes, they wrote a law in December of 2021 telling them that they have to pay those bonds, the bond money back to the original owners of those bonds. And it's like $21 billion. And Congress told them that they better locate every person who has a bond. So plenty of people are going to be getting checks just like you did from them holding out and not paying on those bonds.
Yeah,
so that's where that money probably came from that you're talking about.
Yeah, but mine was only 75 cents. And then they said, oh, we're just adding more so it can be a, because we have a limit sending a check. It's $5 limit. I'm like, yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be more than that. I want to make a claim. I think it's more than 75 cents. But I don't really know. They're doing an investigation on it right now.
So yeah. So that's where you got to start. So go to the Treasury Direct, look to see if there's a bond on your car, and it'll tell you there's letters on there, and it'll tell you what's going on with your bond. It'll tell you if it's matured or how many more years it has to go. Okay. So, but I'm trying to find that law that Congress passed. Okay. that pertains to that. But see, they probably have it just like how Congress does all the time. They put a whole bunch of bills together, you know what I mean, under one law. So it's going to be a little difficult to find, but I'm looking for it.
Well,
but yeah, so Congress did.
I'll try to help you find that. December 2021, Congress writes a law to the New York Stock Exchange that they have to pay the bond money. Maybe we can Google it.
Yep, they have to repay it back.
Like my professors said.
Google it. And it's like about $21 billion that they have to pay back.
Wow.
Well, I tried. So yeah, gotta dig.
Well, we have 10 minutes that I'm gonna let you give some jewels to the people if you so desire on what they can do to help themselves or prepare themselves for you helping them as well, if you so choose to do.
Well, And it depends on, the type of situation that they're in, just like you stated, I know about credit. I wrote a book on credit, studied credit. When people are having financial problems with their houses, okay, I used to work in mortgage servicing. I used to work for the FDIC government. Um, so there's a lot of things that I know about, banking, real estate, um, took law classes, like you said, yeah, I have degrees. I wanted to be an attorney. And once I found out about them laws, oh, they are just as crooked.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good knowledge, good knowledge. So, so like any situation that, any of your people may have, they can always contact you and you can contact me and we can see what we can do to try to help them, and especially if, people are in a situation right now where they're losing their homes due to the pandemic, where a lot of them lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One important thing they need to know is that when these lenders send them those letters about, we'll help you with, through loss mitigation. And all you need to do is just tell us, which one of the options you would like to do. I'm going to tell you, that's a sham, because what the lenders do is that they have to send those letters out by law. Okay. And especially when they have investors that are backing them. And what they do is that the minute the homeowner misses their first payment, their first 30-day late payment, they're already working up the loss mitigation options to see which option is going to best financially suit them. Okay. So if they see that it's better for them to foreclose on the homeowner, they will. They'll just tell the homeowner, sorry, you just don't qualify for these other options. So we're going to foreclose. Because you have to understand, if the bank forecloses, they're not losing anything because they are insured through the investors, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, FHA. They are insured by them. So they're going to get paid.
Yeah, and I thought we also maybe had PMI insurance or private mortgage insurance, or I could have sworn that there was.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. That's it. That's the insurance. That's the investor. Right.
Yeah, so they got already paid. They got paid by the insurance when you default after, what is it, 90 days? Don't they get paid from the insurance when that happens?
The investor will go ahead and pay. Exactly. Yep. They'll take the house back from the lender. Now, you also have to think about this too. If the lender actually owns the house, then why is it when the house goes into foreclosure, is the bank bidding on that house as well as other investors so they can get the highest bid?
Yeah, because I thought
banks go to the foreclosure. The banks go to the foreclosure and they bid. So if the banks already own the house, why are they bidding?
If they got paid by the insurance, why then doesn't the people get to have the house? They got paid already.
You're talking about like from the 1099?
If the bank got paid
Now,
for the house,
I'll tell you,
then why can't the people have it?
well, that's because you have to look at the contracts that everybody is writing up. Now, they can get the house, and how they get the house is that they would have to go ahead and cancel out the debt.
Yes,
because
9C.
when you're doing, when you're doing those 1099s and you're going to the banks and they're asking you for your name and social security number and stuff, some of them getting the money from the trust account. There's some of these little small banks and stuff that don't know how to process work, and they're going through the system the way how they think it really is, but it's not. Okay. So, they're really trying to come up with all this money. And right. But if they learn the right way, how a lot of these big corporations do, they use the 1099.
Is it the 1099
And
A
they get
and C?
it's the 1099A, right? The
Acquisition.
1099A. And so that's why those of us who is learning and know about this, the only way for us to find out if they actually use the 1099A is that we would have to ask IRS. But we would
Yeah.
have to give them the EIN number of the lender who actually did the loan, who did the loan application.
Yeah, because I did call the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and I asked the question, did Wells Fargo or Wachovia or World Savings, whoever it was, did they do a 1099A? And the Wells Fargo executive branch called me and said, no, we did not do one because yours was a short sale and you had a third party, someone else bought your house. So they paid for the house, and that's why they're living in it right now. They said that Wells Fargo
Yeah,
did
but
not do the 1099.
but see what they did is that what they did is that they gave you the runaround, because what they should have told you was that Wells Fargo is not going to have the 1099. It's going to be the original lender who did your loan. They're the ones who did the 1099.
Okay. So
It's
that
going to
would be
be in their name. Right. Yes. So you would have to get Wachovia's EIN, which me and you're going to have to work that out, because Wachovia has 44, they had 44 branches. So we got to figure out which one of the branches of the EIN number that you could contact IRS to
I'm
find out.
going to look at those papers that they sent me to see if they have, well, I guess they wouldn't. No, I think I have the papers for buying the house. I'll have to look into those. Yeah, so I could see that because, yeah, that's tricky. Yeah, and then they try to steer me off asking the escrow people. And I was like, escrow, never thought about that.
Right. And see, escrow has nothing to do with it. They have nothing. I did find some information real quick on a guy who used to do canceling out his debts, okay, based off the 1099As. Now, when he wrote it up just like I was telling you about how you got to be careful when you put some of this stuff out here on these YouTubes and stuff. So what they did is that they put the information on their school homework site. That's where they put all the instructions on how to do it. And so when I found the document and I was going through it, I corrected it, because he did it from when he first started doing it, which is back in 2010 and 2014. So the tax forms that he had were the older tax forms, because tax forms get renewed every so often. So I had to correct it and make it to what the correct tax forms are for now, for the 2022. So that's what I did. I'll have to send you a copy.
Okay,
of,
and that's
of how to do
business.
it. I did the.
That's all for business to do those, right? Not an individual person, right?
No, he did it as an individual person. No, he did it as an individual person.
He did.
For canceling the debt. For canceling the debt, he did it as an individual person when he did it.
I know when I